So they're basically trying to cut everything they can without going after the key interests that propelled Donald Trump's political career and the careers of everyone around him. This is a cabinet, and the Democrats are controlled by billionaires too, but this cabinet has the most billionaires of any administration in U.S. history.
Even more than Trump's first term? Because I thought Trump's first term set the record for that.
I'm pretty sure this is a record breaker, but maybe I'm wrong. It's up there. So it's laughable. Where is it heading? Where is this heading? Well, all the tariffs have been dropped for 90 days. They got the Bill Ackman ceasefire, except against China, which was the ultimate target here. I mean, this really is about China. And as is the $1 trillion Pentagon budget, as is the authorization of the B-47 stealth bomber, the most expensive weapons platform in history. It's all about war with China. And so Trump is now currently in a trade war with China. Just about 72 hours ago, this is Trump's message about the tariffs.
Because I'm telling you, these countries are calling us up, kissing my ass. They are dying to make a deal. Please, please, sir, make a deal. I'll do anything. I'll do anything, sir. Because I'm telling you, these countries are calling us up, kissing my ass.
I just want to hear it again.
They are dying to make a deal. Please, please, sir, make a deal.
I mean, it's kind of funny. He's entertaining the National Republican Congressional Committee, like one of the arms of the Republican Party, black tie dinner. He went on forever. But one country that isn't kissing his ass right now is China. Trump rose tariffs. He jacked up tariffs on China to 104%, expecting them to stand down. And China didn't. What did China do? It retaliated, and the retaliation is going to continue for some time. China raised tariffs to 125% on U.S. goods. Now, of course, the U.S. imports a lot more from China than China imports from the U.S. But what we're looking at is a delinking here, something that's been expected for some time, and which the new Cold War imposed on China was intended to trigger. Given that U.S. exports to China already have no market acceptability under the current tariff rates, if the U.S. further imposes additional tariffs on Chinese goods, China will simply ignore them, said the Custom Tariff Commission of the State Council, the country's cabinet. Global Times, which is sort of the house organ newspaper of the Communist Party of China, one of the, in the English language organ, one of the most influential English language papers coming out of China, which speaks for the leadership in many ways, and which also influences the leadership. China's fight to the end is backed by strong confidence. This is a Global Times editorial, basically declaring China, this is a matter of national pride, and China will not back down. So I don't know how this ends up, but the sense I'm getting is if China manages to stand down the United States, the U.S. will respond with the one thing it has left, which is force. And it already is engaged in gunboat diplomacy against China in the Western Hemisphere. It sent Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth to Panama to threaten China.
President Molino's decision to withdraw from the Belt and Road Initiative reflects his government's clear understanding of China and the threat it poses. I want to be very clear. China did not build this canal. China does not operate this canal. and China will not weaponize this canal. Together with Panama in the lead, we will keep the canal secure and available for all nations through the deterrent power of the strongest, most effective, and most lethal fighting force in the world. We will do this in partnership with Panama. Together, we will take back the Panama Canal from China's influence. And we will do this along with other capable, like-minded allies and partners. This is what peace through strength looks like.
Peace through strength. What Pete Hegseth is referring to is the U.S. strong-arming Hutchison Limited, the holding company belonging to a Hong Kong-based businessman who owns some of the main ports on the Panama Canal, strong-arming them out of China and threatening Panama until they withdrew from the Chinese Belt and Road Initiative. And who are they going to hand over those ports to? Is it going to be just to the American people, to just American companies? No, it's to BlackRock, which has a giant office in Shanghai. BlackRock, which is shafting the American people. So this is basically a win for BlackRock, but it's also a direct military threat against China. I mean, they're using the threat of lethal violence to force China economically out of a bilateral, consensual economic partnership with a country, a sovereign country in the Western Hemisphere, which the US previously attacked and invaded and left like neighborhoods in Panama City in ashes in 1990 as a pilot program for the first Gulf War, where the B-2 was first tested. So all of this language and this economic warfare, to me, is extremely dangerous because it's leading us towards real warfare with China. And this is what I call the art of the Schllemile, because it's not a war that the US wants to fight. And it will plunge the US system, political system and economic system, into existential doom.
And I don't remember, I'm not asking this rhetorically. Did Trump campaign on this? About taking back the Panama? No, I'm serious. I actually don't remember. Like, did he mention this during the campaign, the Panama Canal? I don't remember it, but maybe I missed it.
I believe he mentioned it. I remember him saying we're going to get Greenland back. But the Panama Canal has been a fixation of a part of the nationalist right since Reagan's second campaign for office in 1980, when Reagan, his first victory, he was campaigning on not giving the canal to Panama. And it was considered sort of like a loss for the U.S. to let Panama have a canal under its control on its own territory. But the U.S. was like basically in charge of Panama's dollarized economy and still is. Panama is still, in many ways, a U.S. vassal state with a pro-U.S. administration, with the U.S. getting massive profits from the Panama Canal. Where could that lead if the U.S. is going to try to take the Panama Canal by force? It provides more momentum to the push to build another canal in Nicaragua, a country that is sanctioned by the United States and has no future without China. So the U.S. could actually could get a much worse outcome if that took place. And I think they could like attack Nicaragua if they went ahead with that. It's a stalled project.